Okay. Well, good evening, ladies. This is a very nice group and so happy to have you with us this evening. Welcome to the breakout session on Canva, a 2020 version of Print Shop, but it does so much more. This session qualifies for PDU credit, and for those of you who wish to receive a certificate of participation for PDU credit, please send me an email with your mailing address at the conclusion of the presentation, and my email address can be found in chat. If you have already requested PDU credit or the certificate in the past, I have your address. If you would just send me an email and say, just so I don't miss anybody, that you would like to have that certificate. You don't have to send your mailing address if you've already done this for me. The session also counts toward our statewide attendance award that was outlined in the March issue of The Voice. And to get credit for being here tonight, please use the chat feature to sign in. You need to type your first and last name and the name of your chapter. Make sure you're sending the information to everyone. You may do that now if you haven't already done so, and I know a lot of you have. At this time, please set your screens on speaker view and mute your computers if you're not already there. And Kathy Adams from Alpha Gamma chapter will now introduce tonight's presenter, I'm sorry.
It helps when I unmute.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. All right. Our speaker tonight, Kathy Tinney, editor of The Voice, is a 34-year member of Beta Kappa chapter in Shelby County. She retired from teaching in 2016 after spending 41 years teaching, during which she spent time as the district media specialist, high school librarian, before going back into the classroom to teach keyboarding and computer applications to students in grades K through 12. Kathy is active in her chapter, serving as recording secretary, webmaster, and newsletter editor. In her spare time, she loves to read. Kathy is looking forward to life getting back to normal so she can return as a hospital volunteer and visit her children and grandchildren.
Thank you, Kathy. Originally, Eileen McNally and I were both going to do this presentation together. Actually, Eileen was going to do it and I was just going to be the clicker. And as most of you know, Eileen had surgery on her foot, and then this week she's been under the weather, not feeling so well. So I've been using it for several years on and off for different applications, in newsletters, and on our chapter Facebook page is really where I got started. So when I put this presentation together, I kind of did it with hoping that we'd have some active teachers here tonight. I'm not sure if we do, but I kind of geared the first part of it towards them. So Canva is actually web-based. And in just the last year, they now have an iPad app. There's an app for your Android or your Apple phones that you can download. In fact, I downloaded the app today for my desktop. But it is web-based. There's just a ton of things. I wish this was available while I was still teaching, because I see so many uses for it. It allows you can create presentations, which I actually created this presentation in Canva and then downloaded it to PowerPoint. You can do class decorations, if you can imagine that, infographics, worksheets, lesson plans, flyers, posters. There's just all kinds of things that you can do. It just has lots of templates. There's like over 420,000 plus templates, 25 million premium stock photos, videos, graphics, over 3,000 fonts. And if you can't find a font that you like in that 3,000, there has to be something that's wrong there. For teachers, it allows them to publish their assignments and their activities for their students. You can access your content through Google Drive, Dropbox, and folders. It allows you to share your designs in Google Classroom, on Microsoft Teams, and Remind. And Remind was the one that I wasn't familiar with. I'm more familiar with Google Classroom. When you actually go to the website, this is what you're going to see. And I'm going to go in more in depth in this in just a little bit, but this is their website. The company that created this is actually out of Australia. And it's used not only in education, personal use. There are large marketing companies and that are using it as well. You can sign up for an account, free account. And you can either sign up with your Google. If you have Gmail, you can use that account, your Facebook account, or you can just simply sign up with your email. I prefer to use my email address. I don't like tying anything to Facebook. That's just my personal opinion. And it's very easy to do, and I'll show you a little bit about that later. The thing for educators, Canva is free, and then there's Canva Pro, which you have to pay for. It's almost $120 a year, and so it comes out to about $10 a month. But if you pay on a monthly basis, it's $12.95. I actually have a Pro account because I do use it quite a bit, and you can get access to a lot more things. I mean, there's still a lot that's free, but teachers, or if any of you are involved with a nonprofit, you can actually get the full version for free. For educators, you fill out a form with your teaching details. You have to use your school email address. I do know that. Once you complete the form and submit it, they will contact you, and they say it takes usually less than 24 hours. You get an email confirmation. Your whole class then actually has access to it as well. And I have the website here. It's just canva.com/education. And then it'll bring up the steps that you'll go through to register for it. Canva was actually built with the classroom in mind because it focuses on it allows you to focus on what you as teachers do best, teaching. You can create and collaborate, work together, learn together, not only with your students, but with other teachers. If you're a primary teacher, I know sometimes that they plan together. So you could work together as a team. And I'm just going to show you a real quick, short video here. So like a minute 30. And you'll be able to tell that he's very Australian, and you can hear the accent.
Hi, I'm Nick from Design School, and I'm here to help you get started with Canva for Education. Did you know that as a teacher, you're eligible to get Canva for Education completely free? It's the best creativity tool for every classroom, and it's 100% free now and forever. It's also the perfect tool for distance learning. With Canva for Education, you get access to a ton of paid Canva features, totally free if you're a teacher or a student. Some of the benefits include a library of 3 million images, 60,000 free templates, a virtual classroom space where you can collaborate with students, and a shared drive to organize your files with your class. To apply for Canva for Education, first go to canva.com and sign up for a free account using your school email address. Next, go to canva.com/education to see more about the product. Here you can find some useful information and resources for the education version of Canva. Click the register button and fill in the application form. You'll need to provide some basic details and proof that you're a teacher. Once you've submitted your application, our team should get back to you within 24 hours and upgrade your account to Canva for Education. Thanks for watching. Check out the next videos so you can find out how to set up your classroom, invite your students, and create really engaging materials for them to use.
Okay, so it's really, they make it very easy for you, seamless. There are a lot of tutorials on their website that guide you through that. So it's, I mean, I didn't even use the tutorials. I just kind of went in and started playing with mine. Here you can see in this picture, they've created posters. One of the features that they do offer, but you have to pay for it, they will print for you. So if you're in a school district that maybe doesn't have, I know there's some districts that have a larger printers that can actually print out posters in that. You can get those printed. They will print them and then send them to you. But I've not used any of those services with it. You can share to Google Classroom. I usually download everything that I have. I'm either downloading it as a ping, which gives you a much better quality graphic or image if you're using it in something else. And for this presentation, I downloaded it in PowerPoint. It allowed me to do that. So, and then I have some websites here I just listed. If you're looking for free fonts, this is a really good site. It's www.dafont.com. And they have free fonts. They're free for personal use only. If you are going to be selling something, you have to purchase the fonts, but they're still really inexpensive. Another site that I thought was she was excellent, she's called Loving Little Learners. She's a kindergarten teacher, and she has a YouTube channel, but she also has one on using Canva in the classroom, and which was I thought was excellent. But it's about 30 minutes in length. And then there's a couple other ones, but if you just go to YouTube and search Canva for beginners, you're going to find all kinds of videos, because I know that you're going to see it and sometimes seeing it, but then when you go to try to use it, you go, oh, now what did she say I needed to do? So I think if you have a reference, if you can go back, just go to YouTube and look up Canva for beginners, you're going to find all kinds of short videos that you can use with that. So I'm going to close that out, and whoops, I was afraid that was going to happen. I'm going to go to the actual website, and when you first pull it up, this is what you're going to see. So if you don't have an account, you're going to click on sign up, and then you select how you want to sign up your account, whether you're going to use Google's sign up with Facebook or your email. And since I already have an account, I'm just going to go to log in. Now, and this is, your screen will pop up. You'll notice across the top here, we have several drop-down menus, and I'm going to take a little look at this right now. These are all the templates, and they break them into categories. So if you're someone that uses Instagram, or you're somebody that's on Facebook and does a lot of posting, you can get templates under the social media for that. And I'm not going to spend a lot of time because those aren't the ones that I'm using most of. The whole idea is these templates have been created and you can change them, manipulate them to fit you, what you want. And I will be going through a couple of those. Personal, they've got invitations, cards, resumes, postcards, weekly schedules, t-shirts. Now that would be something that you would buy. You'd have to pay to have that shipped to it. Under business, they've got different ones, and I'm going to take a look here real quick at education. When I talked about how you could decorate your classroom they have all this stuff, and then they have even more categories they break it down into, but you can see all the different things. I would say this is probably geared maybe more towards the elementary teacher, but classroom rules, and I mean, you can click on one of these and then you adapt it to fit what you want. And you'll see that when I'm going to do a couple other things where I'll show you how you can do that easily. Under features, I'm going to click on photos. These are the high quality photos that they have. These really remind me a lot of what I use Pixabay, because it's free. And notice here under photos, it has free and premium. The premium ones are only available to those people that have paid accounts or if you've registered as an educator. So I'm going to change it to free. So it's only showing those pictures that are free, but there's still a ton of different pictures, and you can search up here for picture that you want. So I'm just going to do a broad one, education, and you can see the different ones that you have available. And then you could, if you wanted it narrowed down even more so. But these are photos. There's not clip art in this. This is all high quality photos. Icons are similar. This is where you're finding more of the clip art type. And again, I have it set at free, and then they have the different categories that you can select from. So I'm sure you can find some. We'll go to food and beverage. So there's just all kinds of things that you can jazz your whatever you're doing up with these items. The Learn, they have, excuse me, tutorials here. This is a great place to go. That little video clip that I showed you was located in tutorials, but they have, there's one for getting started. I'll go ahead and click on it so you can see getting started with it, designing. It just depends what your level is, your comfort level. You know, if you're someone like me, I just jump in and start messing with it. And I always figure if it doesn't work out, I can just start all over. My motto used to be, I'll just close the program, open it back up and start again. You know, I didn't worry about it. Okay, now when we go back, click on home, that always takes you back to the main screen after you've logged in. You also have menus down the side. And when you're on home, you'll see the little home, and it has recommendations for you. And you can see there are different options, things that you can do here. Here are your designs. These are things that you as an individual have created. So these are the things that I have done in the past. You might recognize a few of them, of things that I've created that I've used it for. All your designs, that brings up everything. That's the only thing you're seeing on this page are the designs that you've created in the past. People can share with you. This would be, especially if you are an educator and you've your team of teachers share information, this is where it would pop up. Brand kit. You only have access to this in Pro, Canva Pro. And it allows me, I selected colors, and if you can't tell, I like purples. And so I have some different color combinations I have here. I have uploaded fonts, and because Diana loves to use Geneseo, I have that stored here. And then I have some other fonts that I've loaded. Most of these I found on the dafont.com site that I downloaded and then loaded up here. But this is only available to you in the Pro version. And then I'm going to skip down to content planner I don't use, and the creative team is if you can have, if you have the pro account, you can actually add 4 individuals to this. All your folders, and I have mine divided into for the foundation, for my chapter. I'm the membership person for our retired Shelby County retired teachers. And then I have a folder with items for the voice that I keep. And then you can sort it. The thing is, I'm not really sure why the folders are there, because as soon as you click on all designs, everything's there. Unless you just simply want to go, but I usually know what I'm looking for when I go in, if I'm working on something. But I'm going to go back up here to home, and we are going to start with I'm going to do a certificate, and I'm just going to pull the one up that I currently have in here. Okay. You don't have to stay with this. There are a number of things that you can do. The first thing is if you click up here in the corner, one of the corners of where you have the shades of blue. You are not obligated to stay with that color. Notice that when I did click up here in the upper left-hand corner, there are 2 color blocks. I'm going to click on the blue, and when I do, it brings up color choices. And I'm going to change that to, I'm gonna go with something different. I'll stay away from the purple, and I'm going to change to red. And then I have to go back over here again, click on the blue, and I'll get my red. So I can change. And if I really wanted to be creative, I could make all 4 corners something different. Now I click in the text box, and I'm going to change, in order, you can change the text. You have your font list here. And as soon as you click on that, the list will expand. And we'll go with Jenna Sue. And we're going to go, I'm just going to type up a certificate. Oops. Okay. And then you could change, if you want this to, you can change the font. And then you can go in here and just type your name. And then you would change your font here. And then we come down here and we could change this to and then you just change the name. Now, I don't like this graphic here, and I don't know if you noticed, but when I clicked on it, I actually, it selected the leaves, and I'm just going to delete that. And there was another shape in behind that, and I'm going to change it. That is actually called an element. And over here on the far left-hand side, we have elements, you have your photos, you have text. And I am going to select, I want a square there. So I'm going to delete that. And then I'm going to move this down. And then you need to obviously resize it so it can fit there. Now I'm going to go to photos, because and you can actually upload your own photos. And if you've uploaded them, you need to go to upload, and yeah. And I'm going to take my photo, shrink it. I'm going to bring it down here. And notice it popped right into that shape there. So you can do it. Now, once you have it, your document, your certificate, up here you can, I'm going to rename this. It allows you to rename your documents so you can save it. You can share it. This is the important part when you want to download. This you could download as a PDF file because you're going to obviously sign it. So you could just, and then you just click down. I'm going to hit download so you can see what it does. You can see down here, it's actually downloading it. And then now it pops up and it says you could have this printed professionally. Well, I don't want to do that. I've just downloaded it. And up here on my screen, I can see that it says Canva certificate PDF file. And then I just save that to my computer and then print out. And actually, I probably would not, what I wouldn't do, because otherwise you're going to have to come back every time you do a certificate. I would leave this blank. And when I go here to print, I want to see what my options are. That's the only bad thing. Well, you could still print it as a PDF file. The thing is, in order to put a name in the PDF file, you're going to have Adobe that allows you to enter that name. Otherwise, PDF files you can't manipulate. Whatever's there, you're stuck with. But you could download this as a ping. And I'm going to show you. Here's your ping. So you could actually go in here, since it is a ping file, you could go to tools, annotate, and it'll put a text box in. Move your text box where you want it. I always make it a little bit longer than I need. You can select your font and then just type your font in so that you could use it over and over. That would be, I would use the ping rather than the PDF, because unless you have Adobe Pro, you're not going to be able to manipulate it to put different names in it. So we'll have that. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? Because sometimes I get excited and I go a little too fast. If anybody has any questions. Okay. Going to go back to home. Yes, Michelle. Michelle, you're muted.
Are all the pictures on there covered by free license use? You don't have to worry about copyright?
Correct.
Okay.
If you have the free version, you have photos that you can use. I didn't really look into it. If you're doing something that you're selling, I would assume that, because that's the whole part there. That's part of their marketing. So, but whatever's on there, you're free to use.
Okay.
It's copy.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah.
Because if you're using it for chapter newsletters and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
then
no,
you wanna
use it.
guarantee.
That's what I definitely use it for that. I've used it in The Voice. Let me bring up.
I found some things that I thought were free. And then when I downloaded, then they asked for like $1 or something. So
Okay.
you can look and there's
actually are free. They're just simply asking for donations
okay.
To it. You don't have to donate.
Got it.
That's even on Pixabay has the same thing.
Okay.
But this is a picture that I found. This picture I got from Pixabay. And then each month I just come in after I get the names of DKG sisters that have passed away. I go in and enter. I actually have a blank one on here, but I can just come in and change, because I just select my text and then I just highlight it. and I can start over again. So, and then I always download this as a ping, but your pictures that are on here, you're able to use. You're covered. And Pixabay is the same way. They're free. Marcia.
Yes, I do a lot of photography. Can we put our own things into this program?
Oh, yes, you can.
All right, you'll probably be hitting on that then. Thank you.
Yeah. I was trying to see if I had anything. I don't think I've uploaded any of my pictures in here.
Okay.
Don't you have any of those that you put in the voice?
Oh
Kathy?
yeah, I've got like this, everything that I've like this one. A lot of you saw in the October issue for the scavenger hunt. That was the picture, but I got all my pictures that I've used, I've gotten from Pixabay, which they're copyright free. You can use them, they're free to use. So that I've used it.
Kathy, I'm actually talking about your own personal photos that you have won.
Oh, no, I didn't upload them here.
Okay, I thought maybe
I
you
just
did.
had those on my computer and just uploaded them in the voice is all.
Okay.
So, any other questions? Okay, so if you're done with that, I'm just going to go back to home. The one thing I was going to show you how to create something totally from scratch. So I want to find. Oh, I need to talk about this. This is fairly new within the last week or so, because this was never there before. But it's another way to get the thing. So it has, these are labeled for me. It's probably based on things that I've done in the past. So I'm going to click on flyer. And notice it's a blank screen. I'm going to totally start from scratch. So the first thing that I tend to do when I'm starting from something from scratch, I add in my headline. I kind of try to put in my headline. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to have a subhead. And place that where I would like it. Notice as I'm moving this, you see, I don't know if you could see there's pink dotted lines. So my subhead will line up. It's going to be centered under the heading. And then this other pink solid line, that tells you when it's centered, because notice it disappeared. Right now I'm below the center. And as I move it up, it goes above the center. So that's helps you to center it on the page. If you are really concerned about that. Sometimes I don't worry about that. I've done it long enough that I can kind of eyeball this. So now I have for my text. Now I'm going to go to elements, and I'm going to do something a little different here. I'm going to put in some shapes, and I'm going to put it up. I'm going to make it a little bit larger, extend it, and then I'm going to move it. It doesn't matter if it goes off the screen, because it's only going to actually use that space that's on my flyer. Now what I'm going to do is copy this, and then I'm going to paste it because I want another one the exact same shape, size, and eyeball it there. And now that I have that on there, I see I'm probably going to want to move my heading down. Okay, so what I want to do is I'm going to place photos within my two clouds there, those shapes. So now I'm going to go to photos, and I'm going to type in shamrocks, and notice that when I hover over this, I don't know if you can see, it says pro. So that tells you that that's, if when you get on there and you have the free version, one way to make sure that you filter out the ones that you have to pay to use, all I did was click on these little lines here. There's 3 lines with little circles. I can click free, and it will filter out anything that costs money. I'm just on here as free, and then I apply the filter. So now I have the free ones. And I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to use this one. So I click on that, it appears here, and I'm just going to move it up into here, and then I'm going to shrink it, bring it down a little bit, and notice how it popped, it filled in. I didn't have to do anything to get those curved edges. Because trust me, if I had to do it on a computer, it would look horrible. It does it for me. And I think I will take this one for down here. And again, I'll need to probably move him up a little bit and drag it, and eventually there, it popped in. So I have my real life leprechaun. Okay, so now I have my heading. Up here's my font. I can also increase the size, and that looks kind of small. So I'm going to increase it. And I'm just clicking on the plus sign like crazy to enlarge it. And, oop, it's still long. Okay. So, and I may end up having to shrink it. St. Patrick's Day. And let's go down to our subhead. I'm gonna move it a little bit. And when you move it, you're looking for the crosshairs. Crosshairs are the double arrows. That's what lets you drag it. And again, notice the dotted line tells me I'm in the center. I'm centering it underneath my heading. And then that when I get that solid in, here's it's a dotted line, but, or it's still dotted, but it's centering it. So I'm going to add my date here, March. Oops. Yes, I did teach keyboarding. Okay, so we have, now it's kind of, there's a lot of white space. So I'm going to go back to elements, and I'm going to see if I can find a leprechaun that I can add. And again, you want to make sure if you want to stay with the free, you click free and apply it. Notice how with leprechaun, look how the number of leprechauns that I have available, it shrunk. But that's okay, because we can use one of these guys. I'm going to go with him because he's got the pot of gold. And again, I can just move him, you just drag and drop wherever you want. I don't really want him down there with my other guy. And underneath almost all of your elements, and even with your pictures, you'll sometimes see a circle with, it has the arrow spinning. I can tilt him. He doesn't have to be vertical. We can just tilt him there. He's a little tipsy. And let's see, let's get a hat here. Oh, I really like that hat. And again, I'm just going to tilt it. Maybe reduce the size. But, you can just jazz it up however you want. Now, it's still a lot of white. So I'm thinking I might want to put some color behind this. So notice when I clicked anywhere within the white space, the color block here, and it pops up, and if you hover your mouse over it, it'll say background color. So click on your background, and we'll just experiment. It's not too bad, but it's a lot of green. So maybe I'll go with a yellow. But you can change, you can make it whatever you want. That's a kind of a silvery color. You can't really tell but it looks like a dingy white almost, but it is silver. So you have that freedom to make that. And I'm sure that a lot of times maybe you want to make a flyer for your newsletter, your chapter newsletters. I'm surprised because I did one in here with for our when we were collecting funds for the children's service in Shelby County. I had one. Let me look here real quick. I'm gonna see if I can find it to show you that I created using that. I don't see it. I'll pull up a newsletter. I have used it in newsletter, so it would have been February. I think it was in our newsletter. I'm gonna bring this newsletter up real quick so you can see it. Reduce that size because I thought I included it in our newsletter. Maybe not. I guess not, because it was too. It was all purple, but I used a lot of. It had was an image that I had gotten off of Pixabay, but then I put in the information about our fundraiser, and I had created it in here. I don't know why I didn't still have to show it up here, but so you can use it to create for in your newsletter. You could use it to create your masthead, where you're incorporating, because you have to have, your chapter name, and you should have your volume and your editor, Ohio State organization, and then DKG International, because that's why I have we'll look at some of my folders here. Because you have to have this information, like this is the one I use. I'm gonna pull this up, I'm just gonna add a new page here. This is actually what I have on our chapter's Facebook cover photo I created in here. And these are just lines, and then the text in that rows I used, which is nice if you have a web page or a Facebook page. Let me go here to social media. Let's see, because I want a Facebook cover. The thing with the social media templates that they have, they're the exact size that you need to for that specific thing. So like with for a cover, this is exactly what you'll need to do it. And then add your text. Always add your heading first. And then you can adjust it. I like to get the things in that I'm going to need, and then I add my text. I go back in and add my text. And notice where this is different, like if you have used Word and created graphic images, you can always pull down the corner. That's the one thing in Canva. It doesn't expand until you hit enter. Then it will go down automatically as you're typing, but you can't enlarge it at this point. Upload. And insert my rows. So if you want your rows there, oh, I know, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to use this one. Okay. And then you can place that wherever you want it to be. And then I had some elements, and they were lines. So I'm going to say see all. And even though a line shows up here on white, remember you can change it. Let's try to, well, I'm gonna go with this just for something different. I'm gonna make this a little bit smaller. Move it up here. And then the thing is, if you don't like it, you can always just delete it and start over. Okay, so I'm going to paste. I copied and pasted, and I'm going to move it over here. Okay, this actually needs to be flipped. So notice up here at the top, I have the flip. Just click it, and it'll ask me horizontal or vertical. I want to flip it. So now it's like that. And see, notice how when I moved it, I can tell the dotted line is showing up. So that helps me to line it up instead of just having to eyeball it. Up here, I can go in and change my color. And I've changed the color. And I'm going to change my font. My favorite font is Comic Sans. I love using that font. Change this. And again, I could just add what I want, and I'm just going to put Shelby. Oh, I know what I want here. And that's really small, so I'm going to increase the size. And I'm probably going to go back up and increase the chapter as well. Okay, bring it down. And you have control over the color of your font as well. The A here, and you can see that kind of that color block underneath it. You just click on it. And if you wanted to change your color, I think that's too much red, so I'm going to leave it at black the way I had it. And then you would just click download it as a PNG file, and then you can just upload it into your Facebook page. And every time you create something, it saves it automatically for you. And notice every time that I've clicked on something, it opens a new page. So I'm going to close this page. I'm just going to kind of close them here till I get back and that. But if I log out and come back in, it will have that Facebook cover that I created will show up here. Right now, you're not seeing any of the things that but I'll quickly close out. I'll sign out and sign back in because I have it. And notice here, there it is. And then I can pull it back up and work on it. If I decide, I don't really like that, I'm going to change it. I want to add something different. That's the thing I like about it. You don't have to worry, did I remember to save it? Because I know there have been times I've worked on stuff. I've been working so long and I close the program and I go, oh crap, I forgot to save my changes. This does that automatically for you. Okay. Anything that anybody would like to see in particular?
Kathy?
Yes.
Sorry. I have a question. If you're
Yes,
making a
Can you
newsletter,
put borders on your sheet?
Who was asking the question?
I was going to
I
ask.
was
if
asking
you-
a question.
Okay, let's start with Charlene. I can tell I can see her talking.
Okay, thank you. I was asking, could you put a border on your sheets, your worksheets? Can you put a border?
Oh yeah, you can put a border. They have borders. Let me go up here to education feature templates. a worksheet. I'm just gonna pull a worksheet up here and we'll do rocket math. And then say, use this, on that, when they pull up, you just click use this template and it'll pop up. Okay. Borders, and I'm gonna just search borders. They have all kinds of borders. And I think that's what I've used. I've used these before. Now, the thing that you have to be careful with is, notice this border doesn't quite fill the whole page. So that wouldn't work. So you'd have to delete it. Here's one that I think will work. I can tell by the, so, and there we have a border around the mass. So yes, there are all kinds of borders. You just, it's under elements. I'm glad that you asked that because I totally forgot about that. That's where your borders are. And again, if you want free, just click on free and then apply the filter. And then you can see, you can already see that some of those were eliminated on that. Okay, someone else had a question.
If you were making a newsletter and it's more than one page, do you have to start a brand new newsletter page each time, or will it allow you to add pages?
It adds add page. I'll go to newsletter. In fact, I have a newsletter on here somewhere because I was playing with one earlier. Oh, it was this grade school one. Some of them come with more than one page. Like this one comes with 2 pages, but notice down here at the bottom, I can add a page.
Okay.
And then
it just depends on the template.
Yeah, all the templates are, yeah, because they'll tell you when you click on them how many pages. Most of these look like they're 1 or 2 pages. I have
Okay.
not, whoops, want to go back. Let me click on this again. It looked like most of them were 2 pages, 1 of 2. It always tells you how many pages. Yeah, most of these are 2 pages, but you can add. And like on this newsletter, I changed the colors again here. And if you click on a section of this, notice how all those 4 colors come up. I'm not sure I would mess with that because that's only going to change, I think, the colors in that section. So you would have to do, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's a whole page. Okay. But see, that's not, if I pick a color, you're watch what happens, because it isn't just going to be the background here. Oh, it did. It changed the white, so I could change the white on that one. Whereas this is what it was originally, which I think it's cute. But to change all these other colors, you're going to have to do it so many different times. I'm not sure that I would try to change those colors. That might be a little more time than you want to spend on it. But yes, you can add pages very easily. The only thing I noticed is it didn't add that background. So, any other questions?
Marlene Voorhees? Marlene asked,
Yeah,
go ahead, Marlene.
I'm retired, but I still do stuff for our Beta New Chapter and my Italian organization, and then I also help my grandkids with some stuff that they do. So then, in signing in, am I still able to sign in or get an account or how? Talk about that.
Anybody can sign up for an account.
Yeah.
It's because that's free. You can actually, and I forgot to mention this, you can try the Pro. You can try that for 30 days free. And then after that, you have to pay. So
And
I mean,
how expensive are they?
it's $120 a year or $12.95 a month.
But then I can't, I still would need to have like a school account. Is that,
Well,
Is that
no,
the
if you
bottom
get
line
the
on it?
pro, I mean, the pro account's what you pay for. If you're an active educator, it's free. They
okay,
can,
so,
teachers that,
so I'm
any
out.
of you that are still teaching, but I think most of us here tonight are not. We're all, most of us are retired, so.
Exactly.
So it's, you know, because I use it, I've paid for it because I do use it a lot for different things.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Marcia?
Yes, a quick question. I do a one-page piece for a civic club I'm in, a newsletter. If I create my page using this, can it be integrated into a variety of formats, depending on what the other person's using to create the whole newsletter?
Yeah. Okay, so when you go to download, well, actually, this is where you're going to download your file, but over here on the far right, the little square with the 3 dots,
Okay.
you can send it in an email. It allows you to send an email. You can do Dropbox. I don't do it. You can save it to Google Drive.
Okay.
Again, here's the download, and then you can download it either as a ping file, because that would be your whole page. I mean, that would be the whole page, which is probably what I would do, because it's otherwise, if you download it as a PDF, they're going to have to take a screenshot of it to incorporate it in their newsletter, which sometimes I have to do with stuff that I'm sent for the Voice. The only way that I can actually get it in the Voice is to do a screenshot to make it work.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Well, thank you very much. I hope you got something out of it, saw something that you can use. My recommendation is just get on and play with it. I mean, that's really how you learn to use it, is just by experimenting.
Kathy,
Yes.
they want you to give your email.
Okay. I will put it in the chat.
Okay.
And I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And I am more than willing to, I can take a screenshot, or I'm willing to send the PowerPoint to anybody that would like it, or would like those links that I had in it.
To clarify the question about whether she could use that account, she could use a free Canva account. She just couldn't use the pro account without paying for it.
Correct.
Right.
And for the longest time, that's all I used was the free account. But then I got to the point where there were things that I wanted that I couldn't replicate somewhere else. So I coughed up the money for the pro account.
So
because I felt it was
Kathy,
worth it.
I have a question.
Yes.
Supposing I want to use this for our friends of the library.
Yes.
I could do that.
Yes.
And make a newsletter or whatever.
Yes. I did see, I didn't look at it too much, but if the library is considered a non-profit,
our friends of the library is a nonprofit.
okay, you can get access to that. There is a place on there. I was going to look here to see where it is. I did see on there today about nonprofits. I think if you just, well, let's hear. I'm gonna look up because I do remember seeing, I don't see it on here. I'd have to do a little more digging because I haven't, I didn't really make a note of that, but I do know that nonprofits can get it for free, as the pro for free as well. I'm just not sure what the or what you have to do. I'm sure there's an application just like there is for the teachers.
Thank you very much.
Yes, and Myrna, if you would email me, I'll see if I can get the information for you.
Bless your heart.
Thank you,
Anyone
Kathy.
else?
I wanted to share what Donna Myers put in the chat. I don't know if you got a chance to read it. She said, "You are a gem and we're blessed to have you as our editor."
Thank you very much.
I think I needed this before I started sending articles to you for The Voice. It took me as long to put 2 sprigs of holly in 2 corners as it did to write the whole article.
That is, I mean, a lot of what you can do in Canva, you can do in Word, but Word, it's got, it's really gotten, I think it's gotten even quirkier than what it was when I was teaching 4 years ago. Sometimes it's a little more difficult. I find it easier to come into Canva and do it and then just save it as a ping file and insert it. So.
Yeah, I struggled with Word. You know, I struggled. There are times I just sent it with no graphics and said, "Kathy, could you do something?" And she always did. Any more questions for Kathy?
I wondered how many people were going to remember, because Diana and I talked about this yesterday, because I said, if we had very many young ones here tonight, they might not even remember what print shop was.
I know, I was thinking about that. I told my husband what this was going to be about. And he says, "Oh yeah, print shop." And then I thought, that's pretty old. That was a long time ago. Oh, well, thank you. You're a trooper for stepping up and taking this on solo. You did an outstanding job, and we certainly do appreciate you. And I just wanted to remind you, some of you came in later. If you've not signed in for the attendance, go to chat and type in your first and last name and your chapter for the attendance. Also, if you want PDU credit, if you want a certificate to turn in for PDU credit, then you need to send me an email, and my email address is in chat. Kathy sent out an e-blast over the weekend for tonight's session, which was very well attended. And then also for Thursday's session, which is on integrated STEM education. And if you haven't signed up for that, there's still time to do that. And we're looking forward to another good session on Thursday. These have been so well attended, and they have been just outstanding. The presenters have all done such a great job. And Kathy, we do appreciate you. I wanted to thank you again.
If I might add, Lindsay Burns will be the presenter for Thursday, and she just finished her master's with this dissertation on STEM. So when I talked to her, she was quite excited, and she couldn't talk fast enough because she was so excited about what she has learned. So be sure to tune in. I'm sure it will be very interesting for you.
Okay, if there's nothing else, we appreciate you spending your evening with us. You have a good rest of the evening, and we'll see you on Thursday. Bye, ladies.
So much.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Cheryl? You're on mute. Stay around for a second. Okay.
You need me?
No, no,
Okay.
no, I'll talk to you. Been working on the program, so we're good.
All